Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a video to show you how to change the LCD screen in the iPhone 5C. So first of all, before we get started, I just wanted to go over a few things that we're going to be needing today. And let's start with this. It's a plastic pry tool and a tweezers. You won't necessarily need all this stuff, but I just wanted to show you what I'm going to be using. We're going to be using these two screwdrivers. Now you will need these. This is a Phillips size 000 and it's a Torx size 0. So you're going to be needing those to doing any of these procedures on the iPhone. And we're also going to be using this suction cup tool here, and I'll explain in a bit what this is for. And I'll include links in the video description where I got these parts to fix the phone, where I got these tools to work on the phones, anything that I think might be helpful to you. I'll include links in the video description, so check them out there. So next what we're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab the phone, and you're going to want to use this Torx size 0, and you're going to want to remove these two screws right here on the bottom. I already got them removed, but I just wanted to show you they're located right there, so go ahead and remove those. So next what we're going to do is we're going to grab the phone, and we're going to grab this tool right here, and I'll explain in a bit how we use this, but basically you're going to just slide this in here, and you're going to go just above the home button, and right there just so you clear the home button, and you want to press down. Now if you have a broken screen where it's cracked right here so you can't get good suction, what you can do is put some clear plastic packaging tape over this, and then it'll give this suction cup something to grab onto. Now what most people recommend and what they use is just these little suction cup tools, which you can use these, but it's so much easier in a way. These things aren't very much, they're like $8 I think for a tool like this, and it makes it so much easier because what you can do is just pry this apart like that, just like that. And sometimes there's like lint and stuff. If you have it in your pocket, your phone can have lint and stuff build up in these cracks here. Sometimes they come apart really hard with this, because what you want to do, if you do pry up with one of these, just be careful that you don't pry in here with something sharp and damage your frame on your phone here. That's the biggest concern. So if you can get it up just a little bit, then you can usually pry something under one of these little slots right here and finish it off that way. But that's my main concern and caution for you guys, is if you don't have a tool like this and you use the other suction cup tool, you're probably gonna, one way or the other, you're gonna need something suction cup. But so let's go ahead and continue on with the screen. So now that we've taken the suction cup tool off of the screen here, what we can do is just set the screen down and just carefully lift up, as you can see, like this, and then go ahead and remove with the Phillips screwdriver. This is the Phillips size 000 like I was showing you, and you're going to want to go ahead and remove 4 screws here from this plate right there, and go ahead and remove that shield, and just make sure that you put the screws in the right order when you take them off. That way you know how they go back together, because they're all different sizes, some of them, so you want to make sure you do that. And then let's go ahead and remove these connectors here. Let's just start with the one on top here. Now I'm using a plastic pry tool. You can use your fingernails if you want, whatever you can get in there with. I recommend sticking with plastic just so you don't damage anything. If you use a metal, you can use something metal, but just be really careful if you do. And just go ahead and remove this connector right here. Remove this connector right here. And then this one over here. So those 3 connectors come apart, and then the screen comes off just like that. So next what we're going to want to do is take the Phillips screwdriver and remove these 2 screws right here in this plate right here. So next, after removing these 2 screws, what we're going to want to do is just slide this little shield this way. So we're just going to get right in here with something and just kind of work this little part here out, and you can pop this shield right out of there. Then next you can just grab your earpiece speaker with anything. It just kind of sits there, and that comes out just like that. So next what we need to do is, if you have something to pry with, I just use a tweezers carefully, or something that is sharp. And what you want to do is right under where these gold contacts are here, you want to go under and just carefully pry it up. It just has some adhesive under it, and pry it up off the post there. And then when you pick up, this other part here will come out too, and then this front camera will come out, and the whole thing just kind of tips back like that. And then we're also going to want to pry up this little gold microphone right here. It just sits in a little rubber piece there, and we're just going to want to let that sit just like that. Then next what we're going to want to do is take our Phillips screwdriver again, And we're going to want to remove a screw here. There's 2 screws here. And then on this side there's a screw here, and then we're also going to want to go ahead and remove 3 screws right here. So all these screws, just make sure you keep track of where everything goes, keep them separate so you lay them out in a way that you know where they go. So next what we're going to want to do is just grab something. If you want, you can use something that you can get under this with, and just carefully pry up on this metal shield here. And the whole metal shield comes off just like that. Then to remove this home button flex, what we're going to want to do is just carefully pry up under where these gold contacts are. There's adhesive under it. We need to carefully get under there and pry it up. And as it comes loose, we're going to need to just grab that. My tweezers isn't working the best. And then the whole part comes out just like that. Now to swap everything over to the new screen, I'm not going to do it side by side because this is the only screen I have, so I just want to show you what you need to transfer over. Basically, what you're going to need to do, if you have your other screen right beside, you need to transfer a few things over here. So right in here, this plastic ring for the front camera, we're going to need to carefully pry that out and put it over into the other screen. Sometimes the adhesive doesn't come out all the way with the one and it just kind of sits in the next screen, but the front camera holds it in fine so it never goes anywhere. But if you're worried about it, you could try to salvage a little of that adhesive maybe and put it in there. But then this plastic part here, the plastic rubber one, you're going to want to transfer that over, and this little plastic square ring for the proximity sensor and stuff. So you're going to want to transfer that over, and then on this part, on the home button here, a lot of times these home button rubbers are only good for one-time use. So you're going to want to probably get a new home button rubber, and I'll have links in the video description where you can find those as well. And what you're going to want to do is just use something and pry under this rubber here, and once you get it started, you can push from the back side like this. See how that pushes up there? And you can just, once you get it started, you can pretty much just push it from the back side. And then you're going to want to change the rubber, and then carefully you want to make sure that your home button is square with the screen like that when you put it in, because you can twist it and have it cockeyed or something when you put it in there. So make sure to keep it lined up square with the rest of the phone when you go ahead and put that rubber back in. Then when you do that, you can transfer that over to the new screen, and then transfer all the stuff up top here that I mentioned as well. So then once we do that, what we're going to want to do is we're going to just grab our home button flex and we're going to set it down where it needs to go. And then this flex cable has pegs on it, as you can see, and it has like 2 pegs so it lines up perfectly, and it just has adhesive on it, so you just want to make sure you stick that down. And then we're going to go ahead and put our 2 screws back in there. Then next we're going to grab our shield here and we're going to set it down on just where it goes, and we're going to go ahead and put all our screws back in the right order all the way around. So next what we're going to want to do is, I'm going to use the tweezers here. It just might be easier to show you. You don't have to use the tweezers, you can use your fingers. But this gold microphone part here, we're going to start with that, and we're going to get that tucked down in where it goes in that rubber there. And then we're going to go ahead and get the front camera down in, and we're going to line the pegs up on this little flex cable right here where the gold dots are. And at the same time, this proximity sensor has to set down in the little square plastic part. And so just be careful, take your time, be patient, and just have everything sit down in just like it's supposed to. And then you can go ahead and make sure that the front camera stays down. Then next you want to grab the earpiece speaker, and you want to set it right down in there. You see this little part that sticks up, you want to set it down in the hole right there. And it just kind of clips into place there. Then you're going to want to grab your shield and set it right down on there. Make sure that it's clipped in on both ends. Then go ahead and put your 2 screws back in. So to reassemble, just grab your screen, and if you get down here close, just go ahead and start with this connector right here and just put that right down in place. You can hear, so you can kind of feel it click in. That one's a little bit tricky, but then just go ahead and do this next one. That one's a little easier to hear. Then you want to do the last one. Now just make sure they feel like they're all seated properly. And then you're going to want to grab your shield and set it down on there. And go ahead and put your 4 screws back in the right order. So once you have all your screws in your shield there, you can go ahead and just set this down carefully. Then what we're going to want to do is, as we tip up a little bit like this, we're going to want to get this top in first. And then we're going to just want to carefully set the phone down and just press down and work our way down around. Make sure it's down flush all the way around. And then go ahead and put your 2 screws back in the bottom. And then you're all set. Thanks for watching.